not a lecture. I'm putting the podium back here. This is a Constitution rally, and we are all here to celebrate the Constitution. We are mandated to celebrate the Constitution by the Congress of the United States. They rediscovered it in 2005, and thanks to Obama, it's relevant again. Yes, we can have a Constitution, and yes, we are the sovereign people. And if we're not the sovereign people, who is the sovereign people? Who will be sovereign? Because you will not have a country with no sovereign. We are the sovereign people. And as Jane said, our elected representatives need to know, they need to hear from us. Who ever heard of a silent sovereign? If the employees are not doing their job, they need to hear from us. If the employees are doing their job, they need to hear from us. You know, we threw the bums out, and we've got some really good representatives now. Tim Scott wrote one of the shortest bills that have ever been passed in the U.S. Congress, and it just said, the NLRB shall not ruin our jobs. You know what? Congress can say the same kind of thing to the EPA. They can say the same kind of thing to the National Education, the Department of Education, the Department of Energy, etc., etc. They have the power. Why? They are closest to the sovereign. That's us. And so, Congress should do what we want. They haven't because we haven't made them. If the boss never comes to work, do the employees work very hard? No. We need to show up like we're doing today. It is a wonderful thing to celebrate the Constitution. Now, just a little bit of constitutional, this is not trivia. What's the opposite of trivia? An important clause of the Constitution. A very neglected clause of the Constitution. In fact, if you go and look this clause up in Wikipedia, the case law, the relevant case law is 1869. So Congress effectively deep-sixed this clause. But let me tell you what it says. It says that Congress determines all of the courts lower than the Supreme Court and the jurisdiction for those courts. Tomorrow, now I'm not suggesting that this is a good idea, but I don't know, it's not the worst idea. Congress could abolish all of the courts. That would be the Ninth Circuit Court in California, all of them. Start over. Congress establishes the courts and determines the jurisdiction. So, Congress isn't helpless when it comes to prayer in school. The courts don't overrule the Congress. The courts have their place. They're to make sure that the legislation that's passed is constitutional. But the courts are not supposed to make up their own living constitution. And Congress has a check on the courts. Now, we have a congressman in Trey Gowdy who actually cares whether or not legislation is constitutional. You remember Nancy Pelosi? Constitution? Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Is this constitutional? No, we have to pass the bill so we can see what's in it. Those days are over. The Tea Party has shown up, and we're having none of that. So just in the last 24 hours, our congressman asked me about the Second Amendment and why the Second Amendment isn't treated like the First Amendment. My friends, do we want the Second Amendment treated like the First Amendment, turned on its head and used against us? No, we do not. We need to fix the way the First Amendment is being interpreted by the courts, and we need to make sure that the Second Amendment is interpreted the way the founders intended, so that anybody who is a good citizen can own a firearm. That's the intention of the Second Amendment. Mick Mulvaney is on the Budget Committee, and he's working with Congressman Ryan. We do need entitlement reform. We know we can't spend more money than we earn and be able to pay our bills in the future. Something's going to happen with a case like that. We have got to have entitlement reform, and we have Mick Mulvaney on that. Will our congressman continue to do a good job if we are silent? Every now and then you have somebody who is absolutely courageous and will do the right thing if the whole world is against them. But most people won't. So we have to do our job as the sovereign people to enforce the Constitution, which is our contract with America. Thank you all very, very much. God bless everybody.